What's happening, gang? We are back at the summit. I hope you're enjoying everything else in the summit, all these amazing speakers. I am here with my sister from another mister here, my soulmate in sugar addiction recovery world. I don't know how long we've known each other, but we're like any kind of brother and sister. We disagree on some stuff, we agree on stuff, but 99% of the time we agree that you got to get off the sugar. And I will introduce you to Ms. Jen Eden, and she is just the most. Look, I think the common descriptor, the common adjective is a live wire. She's a live wire, and she tells it like it is. So get ready, buckle in, and let's talk about it. She's been doing this 20 years, guys. Not like she started yesterday or anything. She's been helping people get off sugar. One-on-one groups, coaching, the whole nine. She's as we talked about before we came on, she's seen it all and probably done most of it, like me. And so it's not going to be any crap that you read out of a book or that you see somewhere in a magazine or you see on TV or you see all those sugar detoxes that don't mean a damn thing. That everybody's jumping on the bandwagon. This is a true experienced expert who's been doing this a long time. Sis, how are you?
Mike, I love that intro, live wire. That's cool. I'll take that.
You'll take it, right?
Let's say passionate, but I like a passionate live
Passion, that works too. There's a lot of good adjectives, but you are one live wire. Tell me, tell the folks real quick about you, just so they've never heard of you. A lot of the folks, we get a lot of brand new folks on the summit, so they've never heard of you. Just so the other folks know, and so you guys know, she's probably been on every summit we ever had or close to it because her message is so that good. So anyway, tell the folks about Jen.
I love it. I love it. So I always just like to say real quick. So for those who are moms, I get you. I'm a mom. I'll be 49, 50 right here. I'm a recovering sugaraholic. Who isn't, right? I mean,
right.
Everyone's got something going on. That's been going on for decades. What I always love to share, and I have 3 kids. We love 3 kids. And I've been running some version of this company for about 2 decades now. I think about that. I'm like, holy mother. But what I wanted to just share really quick is that and I know we're going to get into this, but I just want to share, look, anything worth doing takes time. And so we're going to get into that today. So I just never gave up. So when you hear me and the other speakers, right, I just never gave up until I was able to figure this out and then get it to work in a sustainable way, which we'll get into. So if you're listening and you're like, another speaker, I just want to remind you, because I'm big on mindset, like never give up. Take a little something from everything we talk about and never give up. Because I come from a background of anxiety, depression, parents in and out of, I'll say it, mental institute. My dad was bipolar, every addiction known to man. I mean, I had a near ulcer, hemorrhoidal condition. I had my own anxiety for forever, weight on and off, gastritis. Like I shouldn't actually be here given the statistics of where it is, but I am, because I never gave up. And because I did what we're doing now, which is I got a lot of education and then I started getting support and taking action. And so that's my really quick where I've come from in the last
short version. That's
20 years.
20. Yeah, 20 years of this. That's a long time. I mean, like before it was cool, before quitting sugar was cool. So let's just dive right in. I've been talking a little bit or a lot of bit about the terminology of addiction. Tell the folks what you think about that. Tell the folks what you think about this idea of addiction in general, or stigma, or is it the difference between a diet plan? Everybody always comes to me, they want a freaking food plan and what to eat and how to exercise. And it's a little more than that.
It's everything but that almost.
Exactly.
Transparent. But that's why what we do is so beautiful. And so to answer your question, for me, what addiction is, and I'm not really a fan of like, oh, so I'm a recovering sugar addict. Like I watch labels, and at the same time, call it what it is.
Yeah.
An addiction to me is, you know that something isn't good for you intellectually, but you can't stop doing it. You
Yeah.
can't stop doing it. And it gives you a high emotional charge and this hit, okay?
Yep.
But intellectually, but you can't stop. Addiction to porn, to gambling, to shopping, to food, to alcohol, to saving, to spending, to being depressed. You decide the vice. But it is that. It is, I know better, but I can't stop. And I say, well, it ain't your fault then. We need to figure out what's hijacked your brain. And so I know you love brain chemistry, but I tell people all the time, if you tell me willpower one more time, I'm going to have an issue with you, because it's real. It's something real. It's a real physiological and psychological issue together.
Right.
That's the work I do together, not one, not the other. Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Yeah. It is a blend, right? It's like people come to me with so much knowledge, like they think they know how to eat and whatever, but they can't stop using sugar. Why is that? Do you think? What is your over years?
Diet Coke is a big one. I know I shouldn't have 2 liters or a can a day. That is a woman today who joined us. I get it. Well, it goes back to Pavlov's dog. Ring a bell, give the dog food, drool, right? Ring a bell, food, or ring a bell, food, drools. And then the food's no longer there and you're ringing a bell and the body remembers, But what we don't realize is that that's just deep in our subconscious. Not that we have to get into that, but it's just deeply embedded. And the more years you've had addiction this way, it's not that it's harder. For me, I always say the more effort you're going to have to give, the more you're going to have to unwire the mind. And your body has gotten used to a certain state. Gets tired at 3 o'clock, it needs a hit. It's like something called muscle memory. I've got it like habit, mental memory. 3 o'clock, gotta have a snack. Half the time, I'm not even a fan of snacks, true story. I'm like, you don't actually need a snack at 3 o'clock. You're just used to Pavlov's dog ringing the bell 3 o'clock after school, or 3 o'clock you feel lonely, not to judge, or 3 o'clock you dying at work, and you're like, I need a treat. You don't realize it, but I need a treat because I'm feeling low. Dopamine hit, ate the Snickers bar, had the chocolate, feel happy, I can make it till 5 o'clock. And I'm like, well, how about we change that up? And there's no judgment, but it's habitual. It's habitual. There's many things, right? It's habitual. It can be emotional. It's also physiological. True story. A woman came this week. I'm doing this binge-free thing. It's kind of cool, something new I'm trying. And so she's in there. She's like, I've been binging for forever. I go, well, what do you eat? Right? It's like 10 beautiful women in this thing. She's like, well, I eat 2 protein bars between breakfast and lunch, and then I eat dinner. And I said, that's why you want chocolate when you first wake up, with lunch and with bed. She's thinking, what's wrong with the chocolate? And I said, what's wrong with you've stopped eating real food?
Right.
It's like, oh, right. And it's so this, and no judgment, by the way, if you do protein bars. I'll have one if I'm golfing. It's very rare, but I use it as a tool. And it ain't cane sugar, my friends. And there's none of that other stuff. It's as clean as I can get it. And it's used as a tool on occasion. I need you to hear that.
Right.
10, 12-mile hike and my apple and my eggs and the other thing. Some things don't do it, but it's a tool and it's used this much out of the year. And so that is where, Mike and I do a little differ, but I'm clear it's a hit and it's used this much for a clear purpose. And so
yeah, we'll get into it. I think the thing is, but I have a question that I'm very curious about. And see if you have the same experience. And I think the people will relate. So like you talk about habits, and I agree 100%. And there's a lot of brain chemistry now coming out to why the habits exist. Yeah. But do you find when you work with someone, and this is, I think, a very important delineation. I do believe that what happened with The Biggest Loser, if you've noticed, it's not on anymore, but when it happened, they would choose ex-athletes or people that were very thin when they were younger and then gained weight. So they had muscle memory, as you're talking about. Do you find, and they were able to, be sequestered and for weeks and months at a time and lose the weight and change their food.
Interesting.
not have the pressures of the outside world. But they all gained it all back. Okay, that's another story. But what I'm wanting to ask is, like, do you find when someone was heavy when they were young, like literally 5, 7, 10, 12 years, are they, is it harder to get off it, to change the habit? Is the habit deeper? Is the brain chemistry, like memory, muscle memory?
Absolutely. I'm
I was,
talking to you right now. If you compare yourself to other people, that has to do with emotions. I
yeah.
am so sorry if you were abused in some way. I am so sorry that your doctor didn't know that you had major food sensitivities and you were the kid that couldn't handle the soy milk and all the things that we give kids. And I'll say it just quickly. You were vaccinated, over vaccinated. You were given not breast milk, but all these milks that were destroying your gut. Or if you were like me when I was little, the first year of life, I was on an antibiotic. The first whole year of my life, no one gave me anything after that. I was very sick for a long time. Still now, border autoimmune. I've diagnosed myself that way because I know what I can and cannot handle. So if that's you, we feel for you. Fat cells, it's different, right? They've been around a long time, and psychologically, you have seen yourself only one way. And we love you, and I'm going to tell you now, you just have a different kind of work to do than other people who come see me and Mike. It doesn't mean it's not surmountable. It doesn't mean you can't do it. We got you. It just means you have different challenges because you've got a lens that looks different than other people, and you have no memory of a leaner version of yourself. So we get to create one with you.
This is so interesting.
It takes time. Yeah, is that good?
I've never asked this question before, and I've been experiencing lately. It's very difficult. Like if they've never had this
memory, no memory, there's nothing to fall back on.
Yeah. So they've got it. There's such a new world to them in every way, emotionally, physically, spiritually, everything's different.
The body needs a lot of healing.
Yeah.
Many years of trauma from, and I don't even mean emotional or physical trauma. I mean trauma in the body from that gut being invaded.
And inflammation.
PCOS. I mean, it's all related. Women have said, oh, my periods were off and all these things when I was 15 and then morbidly obese at 30. I get it. It kind of started at 5 when no one knew you had food sensitivities.
Right.
And the body started to attack itself. Yeah. So
no, I love that.
I went to medical school.
So funny. I've never asked that question before.
I'm so glad you asked.
I mean, I'm experiencing it. And then you were talking about the habits and I'm like, it's so much harder. Like, and I shouldn't say that way because I don't want to scare anybody off from getting help, but it is so much harder if you grew. I want you to know
it's a different challenge. Is that okay? Like you're challenged differently.
Yeah.
You got to do more mental stuff, more mental, like an athlete, like get that. And then the physical stuff that Mike and I do, the repairing from the inside out.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Thank you for asking.
So, no, I mean, you mentioned something that we differ on. We'll get this out of the way and then we can have some fun too.
Okay, we can do that.
I mean, here's the question, okay? I get this all the time, sure you get it all the time. Do I have to do this for the rest of my life?
I know.
Is it zero sugar for the rest of my life? And just so you guys know, I'm a little abstinence-based, at least maybe we're more in agreement than we know. You got to get 60, 90 days so you can see and let your body be healed up to make the decision. Maybe a year, but at least 90 days. You can't even you're not capable emotionally, physically, spiritually to make the decision until you get some time. The reason I ask the question is occasionally you talk about having a treat and, but you're 20 years in, it's a different game for the people that are coming who've never had it.
Yes. And I don't even like to call it a treat. I don't like to label sugar as the treat.
Okay. Thank you.
You're 100% correct. I'm a mother of 3. My kids know it's a hit. I've trained them. How much have you had? And I still give them a choice.
Yeah.
And now I notice they're like, Mom, I don't feel so great. I'm not touching sugar. Mom, my son's a varsity golf player, and he knows it makes me tired the next day. I'm not going to have this, or I'm not going to have that. And so for me, I've educated them, and I watch them, they make their own choices. But what I have found personally, maybe because of Mom at this age, if I say no, right, especially with children, like they'll go the other way. And so I'm all about less is better than more. None is the best. This is better than more. None is the best. And I absolutely will have it. And I agree with what you said. I do something, I'll say real quickly, 30-day sugar freedom experience. It's part of my method.
Yeah.
And it's what Mike said exactly. If you don't know what it feels like to be uninflamed without any sugar, even fruit, but I will say we offer a little bit so you don't totally freak, but to bring inflammation down, you don't know what Mike and I are talking about, how good we feel. I am addicted to feeling great. And when I fall off the bandwagon and there's too much processed food, I'm a human. I'm not as good at Mike, as good at this as Mike. Like, I have days, right? I allow for leniency. I remember and I go, I don't want to do that. Not because it's a diet, not because I do this for a living, not for any reason other than I am accountable to myself. And I know what it's doing, and I love feeling good, and I don't allow things to have a hold on me. So I never dig holes. Yes, I don't dig these holes. Oh my God, I can't get it. I don't. And so I would agree, your mind is not thinking right. If you're talking to us freaking out, you haven't had the sugar-free, I'll call it enough inflammation down for you to have it with all like a rational thought. It's a true story. Because when someone says, oh, I love that, I can't not have it, I go, that's the addiction talking. Because it's killing you. And you're going, oh, but I don't want to not have, well, do you want to keep killing yourself? And then they wake up and they go, whoa, I don't want to keep killing myself. But you're upset that I would say to take it out something that's killing you, right? And then I know that's a little far out there, but for some people, really,
no, not at all.
their innards are burning out, and they just can't keep having the Diet Coke or the wine or the chocolate every day. I mean, they've had cancer.
I have a personal question. So look, what 10 or 15 times over the last 3 decades that I haven't had sugar, is that I would get sugar in a salad dressing. Somebody swore there's no sugar in it, blah blah blah, but anyway, there was sugar in it. And so what happens, this is the cycle I go through. I'm lit up like I had 2 martinis. I literally am high. And if it's a social event, it's actually a benefit because there's a little less social anxiety. I feel a buzz. Okay. Then immediately get hungrier, starving, if whatever. Then that night I sweat. Okay. I sweat it out. And the next day I'm a little blue. Okay. This is the cycle that I go through after X amount of years of healing, right? Does that happen to you when you ingest sugar today? Like, does that happen to you? I'm just curious
what it is. I teach that.
How much is it is, or what it is?
It depends on it. So I'll just say it because it's us and people can decide, but I know my body so well now.
Yeah.
Cane sugar is like the devil. I mean, I don't even believe in the devil, but like cane sugar is like, I talk to people about, well, can we make alternatives and other things? And so, which I don't do a lot of cane sugar ever, but if I ingest it, like, I know. And what I find is it's a combination too. Okay. So you want to talk flour and cane sugar together, like, but I'm with Mike, like the sweating, that feeling a little down. I think because I'm not, as clean, right, as Mike, my body is not, or you know what else? Let me just take this back.
Yeah.
Highly sensitive. Mike is very highly sensitive. So am I. Yeah. But highly sensitive people, everyone has a different reaction, because the truth is my husband, God bless him, he's 50 and he eats. He's like, well, I'm just fine. I'm like, oh my God, what did you just eat? And did you just like, and I don't judge it. I just notice. He's like, we went out for a date. He said, do you want to have a drink? I was like, no, I'm coaching tomorrow. Oh, it's just one drink. I was like, I'm coaching tomorrow. That will fog me. I don't really drink. I don't judge it if you do, but I know drink fogs me.
Yeah.
I know desserts, like they fog me, and I'm not interested in that. But there are other people with different levels of sensitivity. My husband swears unaffected. He's gonna go out tonight and have a drink with a friend. I don't judge it. I just go, wow. And I'm not interested. I'm not looking to inflame myself that way. So it really does depend. And for women, it depends on your hormones. It depends how inflamed you are already. There are so many factors, but I find if like I eat clean, meaning for me, non-inflammatory foods.
Yeah.
For weeks. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to have a little, I don't know, dessert or a little something with Joe. We're out. It's always like a special occasion, like something little. I will find I'm usually not affected. But when we're layering it and you're already inflamed and your hands hurt, right? And your bowels are off and you're not sleeping, right? The littlest bit, I just say the body can't handle anything.
Yeah.
And so as you heal, but I noticed the racing when I'm out and I'm like, oh, there was something in that. It was beautiful.
Right. Notice it,
My
right?
children know.
Yeah.
They go, what's in that pizza? I don't love eating out pizza. I only go to this one place. It's imported. I'm very particular. I am very particular. My kids, I respect. Actually, my daughters won't either, but my son goes somewhere else. Because Mom, my friend took me out and they're like, we love this place in town. He goes, yeah, you love it because if you tasted the sauce. And his friends are like, what are you talking about, Luke? And Luke's like, Mom, so much sugar in that sauce compared to the stuff we buy down the block. And I was like, this is so fun that my son has a sensitivity to this. And so I'm grateful, right? Like there's stepping stones to getting to where Mike and I are.
Right. Absolutely. So you brought up something that a lot of people don't think about. This is interesting. Most people come to me for weight loss stuff, but they don't think about the foggy brain stuff. Okay. But when we do surveys afterwards, the weight loss is like 3 or 4. But the number one is always that their brain came back online. Their foggy brain, they remember better, they focus better, that kind of stuff. So do you find in your clients this kind of this healing of I mean, we know now that it's affecting the brain as much as the body, maybe more. Alzheimer's, they're calling diabetes 3, all that kind of stuff. So tell us about foggy brain and sugar. I think it's super important message to get out there, and tell me the experience with the folks who get off.
I just want to throw out there
You work with high professionals, so they got to have their brain,
I was just going to say that. And just as the plug or whatever you want to say, or the clarity for people listening, who we best serve is middle age, but whatever that means. But I say 40s into, mid late 60s, 40s into 60s.
Yeah.
I say high performing is like high performing, kind of like me. And there's things to do, and the exhaustion and the indecision and the brain fog is pissing them off, along with like, I'm pretty active. I haven't changed that much, even though we have, and we don't realize it. Right. Why does the stuff fit? What's the back fat? What can I look kind of like more like you? I'm like, you can have your own body, but I'm just not inflamed at almost 50. Right. And so, okay. So to answer your question, look, the gut and the brain in one tube, I'm happy to share it. What I did not share earlier is I did go to medical school. Don't be upset. But for me, back in the 90s or 2000, when I realized it was really about drugs, that was it, because I got to shadow a doctor and he's like, listen, I have no time to talk to people. I just write prescriptions. I was like, so I left within a year. I don't judge it, but I'm just saying for me, that was my experience, but I am a biochemist. And so I went to school, Stony Brook, and I have a biochemistry degree, thinking for medical school, and I love it. It's for this now. And so the gut and the brain are one tube. And so sugar greatly impacts your gut health, which is why people say, oh, I had some treats and I can't go to the bathroom. I get it. And then I have a lot of anxiety. Yeah, well, because like 80, and Google this, 80+% of serotonin, the feel-good hormone, is made in the gut. And so if we're eating a lot of sugar and processed foods and antibiotics and all these things that we do, I get it, not judging, but you got to know what it does to your body. It affects your gut. And since your gut and your brain are one tube, well, whatever the heck's going on in your gut is affecting your brain. And so, fix brain fog. I got to fix your gut. It's module 6 of what we teach, of the method. And so I just want to say it's not our fault. I grew up with so much anxiety, profuse sweating, depression, both parents on antidepressants most of my life. I just thought that was normal. So not judging, but I was also so addicted, and so was my father. And like, it's just related, and it's reversible. I just want to lean in. It's reversible. I don't have anxiety anymore. I can't access depression. I put on a few pounds. it's normal, meaning a few up, a few down. That's called life.
Hmm.
You can't, it's just reversible. You just have to start.
Yes, absolutely.
Have to start. Yeah, is that good? Like
Do you
start.
have like me, like bunches of reversing type 2 diabetes stuff? It's kind of amazing with just food, right? I mean,
It's
it's just like
it's mind blowing.
it's
It's
mind.
it's I've been asking more people to share because it's mind, their mind is blown. I know it can happen. And then when it does, I'm like, oh my God, rashes gone, anxiety
Yeah.
gone, psoriasis, bowels move again, weight drops off. Weight is just, this inflammation is just jammed in there.
Right.
Cravings gone. We could go all day. Hair changes, skin. I don't
Skin,
have the same wrinkles. What happened to the circles? Why
right.
am I happy? No joint pain. Althea, we love Althea if she happens to be watching. 30 plus pounds in her 60s, off. She can hike, living in Jackson Hole. She can hike again. She got her life back.
Right.
No anxiety, no nothing.
Right.
She's like, Han, she was already had done other anti-inflammation stuff.
Yeah.
But she had tweaked next level with what I teach. Bags of chips, processed stuff that they say is, antioxidant. And I almost middle fingered. That would be very inappropriate. That's the Brooklyn in me. But they're just selling us things. And we're just like, oh, okay.
Right.
Label says it's a breakfast bar. Breakfast what? It belongs in a dumpster.
Right.
Okay, I went off a little, but I'm back.
Well, you learn something new every time you have the interview. I've probably interviewed you 5 or 7 times, and I never knew you went to medical school or went to biochemistry or went to Stony Brook. So that's I learned something more every day.
3.65 GPA, baby.
I'm a SUNY graduate. You know that? I'm a SUNY graduate. Plattsburgh. I went to SUNY Plattsburgh.
Of course we did. Just
Yeah,
smart.
I didn't. I didn't even know that. That's pretty amazing.
Cool.
So, like, Jen, tell me, like, as you're moving forward with this, and you have these clients and you're doing well with them and stuff, do they, in the long run?
Yes, let's talk about
This is
that.
like,
Thank you.
anybody can get off this crap for a few days and
Let's talk
do a
about
diet and lose their
Yeah.
weight, and
Yeah.
then they go back. How do they change? Like, how do they make it a lifestyle? How do they
I
keep?
don't know. No, I don't know. No.
That, yeah,
I'm
I
as
mean,
honest as it gets. No, I have people that come back years later. It's true story. And I'm like,
yeah, I do too. I do too.
Can I have a video? Like, it's not that I'm amazed. And they're the percentage that I'm
Yeah.
going to talk about right now.
Okay.
They don't believe in perfection. They have a huge supportive circle, meaning
Right.
all their drinking and their, jealous friends pointing the fingers, clean that out, okay? Because the crabs in the bucket thing, trying to get out of the bucket, and the lower crabs are always trying to pull you back into
Right.
drugs, the alcohol, the cocaine, the drinking. So they've cleaned up their environment, okay? They have never stopped choosing to learn and grow. I'm just going to say module 5 of the method, okay? Love it. You got to constantly be looking to love your life more than the addictive stuff. I got enough stuff going on in my personal life. I will spare with you all. But the reason I'm not addicted and, oh my God, having it every day, and I could be very easily, is because I strive to love my life. And so these beautiful individuals, they're always striving for what's next. They have gotten rid of perfection. They've got rid of, screwed up, gonna just give up, and I'm just gonna binge on stuff. I don't judge it if you're there, but I started to analyze those that, wow, they've owned this and it's long-term work, and others where they go, oh, I need to come back, right? I need some fine tuning. And it's because there's areas of their life that they're not looking at, that they need cleanup, no judgment. And their gut health has gone off, and their hormones, and they played the blame game. Oh, it's me. I don't have willpower. When it's like, whoa, well, your hormones are off now. You're at a new decade of your life, and your body needs something else. And I'll just say we teach tuning in. And so you chose to ignore versus take a look at yourself. I don't judge it, but if you're always looking at yourself and analyzing without it being obsessive, I have something going on right now. Things are changing at almost 50. Rather than shoving it under the carpet and being so busy, even stuff with my marriage, like I am working on some deep stuff, but I'm looking at it, working on it, feeling emotions, choosing a better life over a substance that gives you a real hit. Right. And so it's just an awareness, really. So to answer you,
Right.
it's staying aware. I'm slipping a little. We slip. I slip. Huh. I ate ice cream on a Tuesday. When do I ever do that? It's real. And I was like, wow, what was that? And then I cleaned it up. That's real. That happened for me. But it did. I was like, I don't usually do that. What?
Right.
Haven't done it since. Am I bad for that? No. If you want ice cream on a Tuesday, have it. That's not what works for me. I don't just slip in sugar all week long. It's find its place.
Right.
I'm very mindful because I'm recovering, and I could just, hey, party on every day, right? Like that's
Right.
that makes sense. Was that
No,
good?
that was excellent. That was excellent. Let me ask you, like you mentioned the pizza before. Where does the flour fit in your recovery? Tell me
Yeah,
where.
that's an interesting thing.
Yeah,
So
I mean, like,
flour is a slippery slope for everyone I know.
good.
And
That.
and I need, and I know where you are with it, and I respect that. I know myself so well.
Yeah.
That I have found, thank goodness, over the years, there is one, my God, I can't do wraps. I can't do, what are all these things? Oh my gosh, the cassava, cassava is like wheat flour to me. You might as well just,
Right.
I'm not judging, but there were these chips. I was like, oh, back in the day. Oh, and I was like, oh my God, they have cassava flour. Why am I eating them all? And so
Right.
you have to decide, just almond flour. I will not go to the bathroom for a month. Like, and so I have all these flours. It's just, you have to know yourself. I can do a chickpea flour. I can't do it as a pasta. I can't. I can do this one crust. I had some yesterday again. Oh, I love it. I can have it. Not addictive. I don't want any more. Half the time I won't finish it. I don't think about it the next day. I am unaddicted. I'm going to say God loves me. And it really normalizes for me that I am 100% Italian, half Sicilian. And I can't do these cauliflower. You have to know. Another one, cauliflower crust. Just because they say it's healthy, cauliflower crust was killing me. But it's so good for you. And I know you got to watch the oils.
It is.
So
Same,
you have to find what works for you. Yeah.
like, do you have them go abstinent like for a while till they heal up to figure that out, or
Yes. There was thank you for that. There was a time where I was very not well, for lack of a better way to say it.
Yeah.
And a lick, I'm going to tell you people, apple juice, don't get me started. Apple juice is extremely inflammatory. And if that stuff's not organic, good luck with all the lead and everything. Just don't get me started on what they're putting in the apple juice. Okay. Go Google that. But I'm going to tell you, I was seeing a lot of people for a long time, and a lick of apple juice inflamed me for days. I mean, I was really like, I was like, oh man. So yes, I had my birthday and I put an avocado and I put a candle in it. Never forget it. My family's like, what is, I'm eating avocado. I made them all something and I was grateful.
Right.
Candle and an avocado. Yeah, I would say, I don't remember, but it was like maybe 6 months, what you're talking about. But I have been on a health journey of, no dairy for forever, no gluten, no sugar. I've come back and I am for me, a nice middle ground of things I can have.
Right.
But I figured it out. But there was zero of many things. I was vegetarian for like 2 years. It called me no red meat. And so for me, I'm in the zone of, I know what works. And that is what I really pray for people, so that they can have their own level of sanity and freedom that I have. And if I've gone too far, I'm like, I've gone too far. And then I know how to bring it back and bring my inflammation down.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a hard question.
An addictive cycle. Yeah, go.
I'm going to ask you a hard question. You're like a live wire, a firecracker. You are a force to be reckoned with. People are going to see you at nearly 50 years old with perfect skin and a perfect body, and they're going to say to themselves, they're going to say, yeah, but she can do it, I can't. like they're gonna say, like, she's
Okay.
blessed, or
I'll
she,
shed a tear right now for
huh?
you to share.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's like it will seem impossible to them to give up their favorite, and I agree with you on the treat word, so I won't use that word, but their favorite crutch, their favorite comfort food,
Yeah,
whatever,
their favorite stuff that makes them feel like
feel
good.
better. Yeah. That you're like when I hear a movie star quits drinking, or a movie car, oh, they can go to treatment, they can have a private chef and all that kind of stuff. They kind of, I think when they just, I'm just playing devil's advocate. When they look at you, they're saying to themselves, she's just like a Jennifer Aniston. She's
I don't see it that
like
way.
she's a rock star in general. She was probably a great athlete. And they're thinking, I'm just, I've been heavy all my life and I'll never be able to do it. What do you say to those folks?
Oh, well, I'm gonna have a tear
That
because
was a sideways compliment,
I
but
was the kid bullied. I was the kid who, was made fun of. I'm the one that had anorexia and bulimia and had no friends. Like, you don't know that. So never judge a book by its cover.
good.
I've become who I am because of what I have overcome.
Interesting.
What I'm going to say is, oh, you could get mad, but you won't.
It's okay.
You're all going to love me eventually.
Yeah.
Overwhelm is a cop out.
Ooh.
Overwhelm is a cop out. So I have
I'm
trained.
not mad. I love that. Go ahead.
I've trained
I'm
myself
feeling it too, by the way.
that I will not be overwhelmed. That's okay. It didn't come from me. It came from a mentor of mine 6 years ago. So I'm like, well, I ain't going to cop out on myself. So I'm not going to get overwhelmed by the speaker, by this business model, by my results this week, by how much sugar I've eaten. Dude, I ate ice cream with my kids and I was like, I want another little thing of it. And I had some. I have given up, beat up. So I've given up that thing called beat up because I was anorexic. I've done it all, people. I've given up beating myself up. Like, I decided I don't do that anymore. And so I just want to say for you, I learned to take one nugget from every speaker when I go to events or like things like this.
Yeah.
What's one thing? If you threw everything else out, but one thing came out of my mouth that you're like, I can do that.
Yeah.
That's the thing you do. People who come see me, I say, this needs to feel simple, fun, and easy. I don't mean, oh, it's going to be a walk in the park, smelling roses. It takes effort. But if something doesn't feel easy for me, I ain't where I start. I do not start on things that feel hard. And with all due respect to Mike, with giving things up, that's not even a word. Like, I don't use that. Not that Mike does. It's, oh, I can't not have my coffee with sugar. No problem. Who's touching your coffee? Maybe the bag of chips or the 2, liters of diet soda.
Right.
You half a bag of chips and a half a liter of soda. Like, we unwind it so that you don't notice. We play tricks on the mind. The mind doesn't even notice it gone. Because I'm a black sheep in my family. If you tell me I can't do something, I'm eating 7 bags of cookies behind your back in the middle of the night. I'm bringing it. So I've learned with my women and a few men, we play games with the mind. It's playing games with you. We play them back. Yeah. We ain't touching coffee. We ain't touching anything you love. And they go, and the whole nervous system relaxes. Are we going to touch it? Yeah, eventually, because the fucking sugar in the coffee is killing you. And I can't get you to feel better getting that cane sugar out. But if we don't touch it first, we make easy changes.
Nice.
When your taste buds change and your gut health is better and you're sleeping and you're going to the bathroom again, you don't even want the sugar in the coffee. But that comes later. We don't touch that.
Right.
We just do easy things. And if it doesn't feel easy, you don't do it. I always, right? Like, my friend's like, well, we're going to run a marathon. I'm like, well, that's a problem. All right, well, how about you just go for a walk today? Okay, cool. I like that. And now I'm running 5. It's really cool. About 12 miles a week now.
Nice.
Love it. Walk, run. But I was like, oh, you told me to do that in one day. I'd be like, I'm out. Right. We just start. Okay. Was that good?
No, that was awesome. I mean, that's people need to hear that there are systems out there, mine, yours, doesn't matter where, that they can walk through this, and that other people have done it before them, and that it's not this overwhelming. I don't know if I ever told you this, but I have to tell people this, that when people call me for coaching, 20% of them are crying because they've never told another human being this story. They've never told another person, like their spouse, they never told them about their food habits, they're hiding, they're hoarding, and they never told anybody. So they're isolated and they're alone, and that's, I think, one of the major harmful parts of this, because, it's like, like when they go out, they're, 100 pounds overweight and they have a salad, and people are like, I never seen them have anything but a salad. How do they do this? Well, they tell me behind the scenes what they're really doing. You know what I mean?
It's community that's needed. So thank you.
Yeah.
Community
Yes.
heals you.
Yes.
My women go, I'm not alone. I don't feel like something's wrong with me anymore.
Right.
All these other people struggle like me, and they were willing to admit it and get help. I always say, if someone looks too shiny, it's because they're not telling you something, which is why when you said to me, like, I could look like that, I don't see myself that way.
Right.
I see myself as, little Jen, beat up with the freckles and the blemishes and, the wrinkles and the cellulite, but like,
right.
Right. Like, we see ourselves different than people see us. And it's nice to be around a community of people.
Right.
By the way, that's half of the overcoming of the addiction right there. I am not going to discount accountability, support, and a community. Okay.
Right.
That's everything. And that is not a pitch to work with us. Although if you want to work with us, great. Accountability, support, and like-minded community.
Yeah.
Nobody stops drinking and gets that under control when their friends still go to the bar Friday and Saturday night. They leave those friends. I know, because after the alcohol, people come see me to remove the sugar addiction, right? They go from alcohol. I don't judge it, but they're like, oh, God, an alcohol thing.
And people, when they drink alcohol, it stimulates their desire for sugar. They wake up the next day like with sugar cravings. So, yeah. Just a side note, gang.
Community, we're just not alone. We're really all the same person. Mike's fears are my fears, right? Mike's wins are my wins. We just are in different bodies.
Yeah.
And I never gave up. I just want you to hear that. Even now, my hands this morning, I had to take a look. I was like, my hands hurt today. I got a lot of stress in my life, not food related, emotional stress. So you got to know it's related. And I was like, oh, my hands hurt. So what did I do? Compassion, love, drank water, did my routine. I'm into this running thing. I did just 1.5 miles. I loved myself up. I came home, right? I had just some sunflower butter. I had a few different things before this. I'm going to eat a nice meal, protein after this.
Yeah.
And like, it's just all these pieces. But I wasn't like, oh, now I'm going to go eat sugar. I was like, oh, go take care of yourself, Jen.
Right.
Go take care of yourself.
Why do people find it so hard to take care of themselves, Jen? Why do people?
Because it ain't taught.
Well, yeah.
My mother went into psychiatric ward at the hospital when I was little. That was the model. Oh, mom overworked herself. Wow, we did a lot. We were, because that's, and I think you need to have that. I mean, God bless my mother. She's extraordinary now, by the way. My mother is extraordinary. But her mother, I'll never forget it. My mother said to me once, Jen, nervous breakdowns run in our family. And I went, no, you know what runs in our family, Mom? Not taking care of ourselves.
Oh, there you go.
The mouth dropped.
Yeah.
That's what runs in the family.
Yeah.
Not taking care. So I believe it's taught. My kids watch. Mom, can you help me? No, not now. Oh, it's 8:30. Mom's finished. But I really want to talk to you. I got it. But Mom's done by 8:30. So let's do that tomorrow. I'm not selfish. I'm not mean. I'm honest. And so this selfless thing that these moms do, I don't buy into it. I don't play that game. I don't wear the cape. Super mom. No, it's bullshit. No, we have to teach our kids that self-care is a necessity. It's not, I take care of myself after I fed everyone else and crumbs. No. People are like, oh, you went out? Yeah, I bought myself dinner tonight because I didn't want to eat what you all were eating. And I like Chipotle. I do no wraps. I do a salad with beans. You'll be some chicken and guac. It's so good. And it does not inflame me. So point being, just stop being martyrs. And really, it's not your fault. We are taught this through the generations. I know obesity can be passed down. Absolutely. That's in the genes too.
Oh, obesity is the same thing. It runs in the family. The food
Heart
product
attack runs in the family. No, you know what runs in the family? Working too much and disconnecting from your emotions. That's where heart attacks come from. Okay. It's a disconnect, and we pass it on to the kids. My kids are slightly connected. Wonder why? Because we talk about things. Oh, you're upset. You don't walk away. Come back here. Oh, you want chips? No, you don't eat chips after a heated conversation. No, we disconnect emotion from chips. You can have chips in a half hour after you've talked to me about what's going on. That's a real thing. That's a real thing in my house. You just got a flashlight into.
No, this is,
because we got to teach the kids.
I think for the first time, I think I got Jen out where she's unfiltered and she's just telling the truth. In my world, we call that codependency. And I like your, like, no, like, self-care, not taking care. I can imagine your mother, like, immediately understanding what you said, that what ran in the family is you didn't take care of your mother, didn't take care of yourself. You didn't take care of yourself. Sorry, the buck stops here. I'm taking care of myself. And that causes ripples. That causes problems in families because you're trained, especially women, which both of us have the same kind of demographics as our clients. They used to taking care of everybody except themselves, and they're taking care of themselves last. And people don't understand that it doesn't matter, your diet plan or your exercise plan. It matters about you taking care of you, and people feel guilty when they start to take care of themselves.
That's a learned behavior.
Guilt. They're like, oh, I should go take care of the kids. I'm at the gym.
Learned behavior. Guilt is a learned behavior. It's a learned behavior. Something happened at my kid's school. I don't have to get into it all, but I said, wow, we're undoing that right now. She said, you should be ashamed of yourself. Something about shame, something in your family. If you don't get good grades because your parents send you here and you're like ashamed to the family. And my daughter came home and we talked. I said, I am so sorry that teacher, someone shamed her. I said, you get good grades for yourself. It has nothing to do with shaming the family. You work hard for yourself. You work for yourself. You don't do it so you don't shame the family. And so I got to unwire that. But that woman, I don't judge her. She's been shamed her whole life because she just tried to teach my kid that. And I unwired that faster than she could fucking do it. Sorry. Keep the shit. When my kids go, I feel so bad. I go, what are you feeling bad about? Just do it different next time. And so I unwire, what are you feeling bad about? Bad is a wasted emotion. And next time, just tell the truth. Next time, don't eat so many cookies. Next time, don't get the C, go for the A. And so I don't allow guilt and feeling bad. I actually just say wasted emotion. And I realize that can be a lot for some people. And I respect that. And I tune it down, but not with my children. It's a wasted emotion. Guilt will get you nowhere.
Right.
Just do it different. And so
this has been
guilty,
so
just know
amazing.
it was taught.
It's just so I'm loving that we got edgy, we got out, and we got
Thank you.
Got you loosened up and ready to rock and roll. So what question didn't I ask? And tell me what message.
Oh, I love that. Well, I feel like we shared so many pearls. And if someone's, head is spinning oh, I don't where would I start? Where would I start? I just want to say, you always start with what feels easy. I mean that. If you heard us say, we didn't talk that much about movement, but you would like to move a little more because that really does help. It gives you an endorphin high. It does, the endorphins, and then you crave less sugar. Maybe you go for a walk. If you heard us say, oh, wow, maybe I'll have, instead of 2 liters of soda, I'll just shoot for 1 liter this week. It's starting that matters. The problem is people don't ever start. And then once you start and you have a little momentum, go get support, because that momentum will only last so long because you haven't rewired your mind yet. And so you're going to go back to, oh, see, I started it and then I didn't finish. And that needs to be rewired. But start. Please start. Please. And reach out if you need us or me. Start.
That's a great answer. That's great. And tell the folks where they can find you Tell the folks what you're up to. Tell the folks
You
like,
can find me anywhere.
yeah,
So
you're
when I
everywhere.
said simple, fun, and easy, I know on the screen, Jen Eden, I literally am that ridiculous. Like simplicity is my superpower. So you could find me on Instagram. If you hang out on Facebook, I've got a page. If you want to just check me out, you could probably just Google Jen Eden. You can do that, and you can go to my website. I have classes on this that are free on what I teach, this 5-step method called the Sugar Freedom Method. It's been trademarked. You can find me, and whatever calls to you. I have a YouTube channel. Like, find me on the avenue that feels fun for you. You get to watch me on YouTube. You get to visually see me on Instagram. You could converse with me on Facebook. I have a sugar addiction page, or my website, and join my community and download some freebies and start to learn. In fact, I'll have something, potentially we'll talk about it, but maybe just this 27-minute no BS. I walk you through all 5 steps with actual tips. It's 27 minutes. I got it from an hour, 27. And then, we can converse if you want to chat, but it's that easy. It really is. It's a start.
I like that. Start the way it's easy. I love that, actually. That's a great, it's so
Fun.
true. Nobody signs up for the month of pain and withdrawals, and
I wouldn't even do it if it was free.
Right. I always say this is a product people need, but they don't want. And so they've got to ease into it. Prevention in general, they'd rather go to the doctor after they're sick,
Well, not our people, but not people
No.
watching here, but
That's
people
right.
here. I know who you are. We're grateful you're here, but I understand the other like 70%. I usually just bless them when I see it because they don't know yet.
Yeah.
But
No.
you all know, so do something.
There you go. What a way to end it. That do something. Even my mother say, even if it's wrong, do something.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, you do something. Jen, always a pleasure. Enjoyed it. And Stony Brook graduate, amazing. I didn't know that. But anyway, we will talk to you real soon. Thanks. Bye, everybody.